AITA for refusing to give up my honeymoon suite for my sister. Hi Reddit. This is my first time posting here, and honestly I never thought I'd be one of those people with a story this insane, but here we are. I 28F, got married to my husband 30M last month. We've been together for 6 years, engaged for 2, and planned our wedding down to the last detail. It wasn't some over-the-top movie-style wedding, but it was ours. We worked extra shifts, skipped vacations, and saved for years so that when the time came, we could have the day we wanted without drowning in debt afterward. Part of that plan included our honeymoon. My husband and I are not super extravagant people, but we both agreed that the honeymoon was where we wanted to splurge. We booked a gorgeous honeymoon suite at a resort, big balcony overlooking the ocean, private jacuzzi, champagne waiting in the room, the works. It was our reward after years of budgeting and stress. Now here, where the family drama comes in. I have one younger sister, Kara, 25F. Growing up, Kara was always the princess. My parents, especially my mom, doted on her. If I got an A on a test, it was good job, keep it up. If Kara got a C, it was don't worry, sweetie, we'll get you a tutor. If I saved up for a phone, Kara got one gifted to her. You get the picture. To be clear, I love my sister. I really do. But she's always been incredibly entitled. And it got worse when she started dating losers in her late teens and early 20s. She'd get herself into messes, and my parents would swoop in and bail her out every single time. Meanwhile, I was expected to be the responsible one who never needed help. Fast forward to about a year ago, Kara gets pregnant. The father? A guy she had been dating for maybe 6 months who ghosted the moment he heard the news. Predictable, but still awful. Kara moved back in with my parents, who of course took her in without hesitation. She hasn't worked in months, and they basically bankroll her entire life. So when my wedding was approaching, there was already this tension in the air. Kara was clearly jealous. Every time I talked about wedding planning, she'd roll her eyes or make snide comments like, "Must be nice to have everything go perfect for you." My mom even pulled me aside once and asked me to tone it down so Kara wouldn't feel left out. I tried, I really did. But how do you plan your own wedding without talking about it? Then, about a week before the wedding, Kara drops this bombshell. She wants to come on my honeymoon. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She was. She said she was stressed and needed a break, and that it wasn't fair that I got to run off to a luxury resort while she was suffering. I told her point blank, absolutely not. It's my honeymoon. She pouted, called me selfish, and stormed off. I figured that was the end of it. Spoiler, it was. The wedding itself went beautifully, even though Kara showed up wearing a dress that was very suspiciously bridal-looking. Everyone noticed. People even asked me later if I was upset, but honestly, I was too happy that day to let her antics ruin it. My husband and I left for our honeymoon the next morning, blissfully unaware of the chaos that was about to unfold. The first day at the resort was heaven. We checked into our suite, which was even more beautiful than the photos. We popped champagne, lounged on the balcony, ordered room service. For the first time in months, it felt like we could just breathe. Then came day 2. Around 7 p.m., my phone started blowing up with calls from my mom. I ignored it at first, figuring it wasn't urgent. But after the 10th call in a row, I picked up, worried something had happened. Oh, something had happened all right, just not what I expected. My mom immediately launched into a tirade about how I was selfish and ungrateful. She said Kara was at the resort, standing in the lobby, crying because I wouldn't let her stay with us. I thought I misheard. Kara was at the resort. Turns out my mom had told her where we were staying. I still don't know how she got the exact location, and actually drove her there with a suitcase. My mom's plan, apparently, was that Kara would crash with us for a few nights, because the suite is too big for just 2 people. I wish I were making this up. While my mom is yelling at me on the phone, Kara is texting me at the same time. "I'm downstairs, let me up. Don't be a B***TCH. She even added crying emojis, like this was supposed to guilt me. I told my mom no. I told Kara no. I told both of them this was beyond inappropriate and that they needed to leave. My mom accused me of abandoning family in need. Kara texted me that she'd make a scene if I didn't come down. And guess what? She did. My husband and I went downstairs, and there she was, standing in the middle of the lobby with her suitcase, loudly crying about how I was heartless for not letting her stay. People were staring. A few even gave me dirty looks, probably thinking I was some kind of monster leaving my pregnant sister stranded. Security had to get involved. They asked Kara to leave, and she refused. She kept saying, "But she's my sister, she has to take care of me." My husband finally stepped in and said firmly, "This is our honeymoon, you need to go home." Security escorted her out. It was humiliating. My face was burning the whole time. What was supposed to be the most romantic week of my life turned into a circus because my sister couldn't stand not being the center of attention. When we got back, things exploded even more. My parents sat me down and lectured me about how I chose a man over my family and how I could have spared one night to make Kara feel included. I lost it. I told them I was done being the backup parent, the second mom, the punching bag, the one who always sacrifices while Kara gets away with everything. Now my parents aren't speaking to me unless I apologize. Kara has been posting cryptic Facebook statuses about fake sisters and selfish witches. Some relatives are siding with her, saying I should have just given in to keep the peace. Others think the whole thing is as insane as I do. My husband is fully on my side. He says this is the hill to die on, that if I let them walk all over me now, it'll never stop. But I'll admit, a tiny part of me wonders, should I have just let her stay one night to avoid the drama? Was I really that selfish for protecting my honeymoon? So Reddit AITA. Update. It's been 2 weeks since I posted this, and holy hell, I did not expect the response I got. Thank you to everyone who commented. Reading through the thousands of replies honestly gave me the validation I didn't know I needed. A lot has happened since then. For one, Kara has doubled down on social media. She made an entire Facebook post basically painting me as a cold-hearted villain. She wrote something like, "Imagine being pregnant, scared, and abandoned, and your own sister won't even let you share a hotel room." Of course, she conveniently left out the part where the hotel room was my honeymoon suite and she showed up uninvited. At first, a lot of people bought her version. I had distant cousins and even an old high school friend messaging me things like, "Why couldn't you just help her out?" But then, some of my closer friends started chiming in with the truth. One even commented directly on her post, "You tried to crash your sister's honeymoon. That's not being abandoned, that's being entitled." Needless to say, Kara deleted the post shortly after. As for my parents, well, they're still angry. My mom left me a voicemail basically saying, "We raised you better than this. Family comes first." But for the first time in my life, I didn't call back apologizing. I've decided to let them sit with their disappointment. Something surprising did happen, though. My dad reached out privately. He said he doesn't agree with how I handled things, thanks, Dad, but he also admitted that Kara has been coddled too much. He told me he was proud of me for standing my ground. Coming from him, that meant a lot. My husband and I are doing great. If anything, this whole fiasco brought us closer. We joked that our honeymoon had more plot twists than a Netflix drama, but at least we got through it together. As for Kara, she's still at my parents' house. From what I've heard, she's sulking and milking the poor me angle as much as she can. I honestly don't know what our relationship will look like moving forward, but for now, I'm keeping my distance. Do I feel guilty? A little. I don't like conflict and I don't like feeling like the bad guy. But every time that guilt creeps in, I remind myself, this was my honeymoon. Not a family vacation, not a group getaway. Mine. And if standing up for that makes me the villain in their eyes, then so be it. So final verdict. No, I don't think I'm the asshole. Not anymore.